is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about the Dewayne Dedmon trade. If you guys didn't know, the Sacramento Kings have agreed to trade Dewayne Dedmon to Atlanta Hawks for Jabari Parker and Alex Len. The Hawks also received 2 second-round picks in 2020 and 21 from the Kings. Dedmon was previously with the Hawks but signed a 3-year, $41 million deal with the Kings, and it did not work out. So they're sending him back to where his career was taken off, and it was in Atlanta, playing with little Trae Young and John Collins being a guy that can stretch the floor for the Hawks, be able to anchor that defense, and also being able to rebound at a decent level when he's given starting minutes or just backup minutes. And even though they made the trade for Clint Capella, you still needed a backup big, which they knew. And who else better than a guy that knows the system, knows the coach, knows the personnel than Dewayne Dedmon, and also can bring them versatility, being able to knock down threes in mid-range, something that John Collins can do, but he's not the rim protector that Dedmon and Clint Capella is, which is why they make these trades. And remember, they did make a trade for Jeff Teague to solidify that backup point guard spot for Trae Young. The only problem with this trade is it's just a little too late. The Atlanta Hawks are out of it to me, and even if you make it to the playoffs, you don't want to be an eighth seed because the Bucks are just running roughshod over everybody, and they're embarrassing people. And this team has veterans now. They got Clint Capella, who is young and can grow with their core, but they now add Dedmon back. And I think they had to figure stuff out like that, what works and what don't work, and how can we find ways to make this team better without costing too much of our future. And I feel like even with the Clint Capella trade and this Dedmon trade, they didn't really give up nothing significant. They didn't really give up none of their core pieces with both of these trades. And at the same time, they didn't really give up their future. They still got Hunter, they still got Reddish, they still got Herter, they still got Trae Young and John Collins. And that's impressive that they was able to make moves like this without really giving up too much or giving up their nucleus. And you want to keep that foundation built because these are the guys that you feel can turn you from a team that's rebuilding to a team that can be a legitimate contender in the Eastern Conference. The question to me is, and I'm going to ask it to y'all too, can Trae Young deliver? Can Trae Young be that guy that's an all-star starter, that's an all-NBA player, but besides all that, can you win a title with Trae Young being your best player? I'm not saying you can't win a title with Trae Young. You probably could if he wasn't your best player, but if Trae Young, this is his team and this is how it's going to be built, is a very interesting question that people need to start thinking about is, can Trae Young be the number one option? We've seen what he did in college, but his numbers started to fade a little bit. He got a lot more exposed, and teams start covering him different, and his numbers and his percentages started to drop after a hot start, and is doing that this year. But he's been able to figure it out and make counters and adaptations to defenses and how they're trying to cover him. And he's also an unselfish guy that makes his teammates better by giving them easy opportunities. Dedmon knows about that, especially from last year. And to have guys like Teague and Clint Capella and Dedmon just add guys that know their roles and really going to try to go out there and hold it. And I think that they needed more defense, especially in the inside, because John Collins just can't protect the rim. And you already know that Trae Young is one of the worst defenders, but Hunter hasn't been a great defender on the perimeter, and neither has Cam Reddish. So to get guys that's willing to hold themselves accountable, get guys that have played on teams that have been winning and or had great coaching is what you want to bring in, and that's veterans. And they went very, very young, and now they're starting to bring in guys that understand their role and understand their game and not going to stray too far from that. But I like Trae Young as a player, but I really want to know what you guys think as Trae Young being a franchise player. Can he lead you to the promised land? Can he lead you to the finals as the best player? Because they drafted him high. They gave up on Luka Doncic to get Trae Young, and then that pick what turned out to be Cam Reddish. Can they develop into a championship team? We won't know until the future, and Trey Young being a defensive liability, and so is a guy like John Collins, and that's one of the big reasons why they got two centers to really anchor that paint. Um, this team is very, very interesting, and I really want to see how this team continue to grow and develop together, and if they're going to try to make it a team that's trying to win right now, or they're going to continue to believe in building around Collins, Herter, Reddish, and obviously Trey Young and DeAndre Hunter, or they're going to try to speed it up because a lot of people want them to speed it up. And Trey Young has shown his frustration, and everybody coming into the league, they want to make a name for themselves, and they want to do that by putting up the numbers and winning. And Trey Young hasn't been able to do that these first two seasons, even though he has been in the Eastern Conference. But I really want to see this team operate and function and see how they change the way they play, because you bringing in guys that have a different role and guys that can really change the way this team is ran and change the way this team plays. And I really want to see how everything fits, not just with Trey Young, just with the whole team, and see how they get better, just because this team has a lot of potential. They got guys that can defend multiple positions, that can play multiple positions, that can be knocked down 3-point shooters in the future. You have guys that can go big or go small, and they have a lot of versatility on this roster. It looks good, but we haven't seen it fully developed. And I think that that's going to be the biggest key with this team is how good are they and how good can they be, especially after these acquisitions, but also in the future. Can these guys live up to being 3 and D guys, or guys that can be dual playmakers in the game? And Trey Young is going to need some help, and he's been getting beat up because he has to carry so much of the load and he has to do so much for this team, especially offensively, that you only can really do so much, and you only can really put so much talent on this team before turning it into a veteran team. So I'm still interested to see how they choose to build this team. I think these three trades, with the T trade, the Dedmon trade, and also the Capella trade, I'm just literally trying to see what they're trying to do. They obviously get rid of Jabari Parker and Alex Lynn, which was two pickups I thought was solid. Jabari showed that he can be a quality player still in the NBA and not on a terrible contract. Alex Lynn is a big man, but he always been an okay player, not a starting level player, not a guy that you can really depend on, and that's something that you do get in Dewayne Dedmon. But the Hawks also did a smart thing getting the 2 second round picks. I know the second round picks don't make scream out loud or drive you crazy, but that can be something that can really be special. Getting cheap quality players that you can either develop, or you can draft somebody that's more NBA ready that can help you now, which is what Trey Young, your franchise player, wants you to do. But you're getting the right type of guys in here, and Jabari Parker and Alex Lynn, not known as great defenders, not really known as winning type of players in the NBA level, and really hasn't really made too much of a difference on this team since they done played majority of this year, and this team has still been bad and really hasn't been able to get on the right track. And it was because of John Collins, but now they have been playing for over a month almost, and they still haven't figured out how to play defense, how to play together, how to build upon what they've been doing this whole season. They're just a mess right now, and I see that they really Trey Young is putting a lot of pressure on the GMs and his team, because he don't want to be embarrassed and he don't want to be known as a loser, which is what they have done, and they have been terrible these last 2 years. But I look at Jabari, I look at Lynn, I look at Damon, I look at Dedmon, I look at Teague, and I look at Clint Capella, and I'm looking like, I like that. You get Dedmon back, and you get 2 picks, and that's impressive. I like that, and I think that was a sneaky little move done by the GM. But at the end of the day, I think this is a balanced trade. I think that Sacramento had to get out of that contract. I don't really see Jabari and them playing a big role in Sacramento. Sacramento has been bad the last couple years too, and they haven't been able to figure it out. Also, Jabari Parker is still a guy that can be a solid rebounder. He can get a bucket on anybody at any position because he is still physical. He still is athletic. He has a little jumper on him, and he is a guy that can play within the team concept instead of just being a guy that handles the ball and takes all these tough shots like he used to do in college and in high school and a little bit early with the Bucks. But he's figuring out how to be a veteran. He's figuring out how to play his game and how to evolve his game. And I hopefully see Jabari Parker in the league for years to come. He hasn't been able to stay on the team longer than a half a season or a year, so that's not good for his reputation. That's not a good way to think about him, but it is keeping it real. Jabari Parker hasn't been able to find a home. He hasn't really found a team that really believes and really want to keep him and give him, that stability. And it's unfortunate because he was a guy that a lot of people seen as a future all-star, a guy that people feel like can really be a big difference maker on the team, and a guy that a lot of people have respect for because of his work ethic and the way he played the game. And injuries really derailed his career earlier, but he hasn't been able to get it right and fix his image and fix his brand and also take his game back to that all-star caliber level that we thought he could be, which he never really reached at the end of the day, which is very unfortunate. But I think when you look at this trade, it's fair, it's balanced. You get two guys that really isn't the most sought after and really isn't the greatest players, and you give away a guy that really hasn't fit in Sacramento, hasn't played well, start getting more minutes. He really wasn't happy. He really wanted to get out of there, and he is out of there. He's going to a team that really fits his style, and he knows how to fit in because he played with him already. So to me, this is smart for Atlanta. I don't really like the fact that the Kings had to give up 2 second-round picks to get off this contract. You would like to move him without giving up anything, but that's not how it is right now. And luckily for the Atlanta Hawks, they had the cap space to get Teague and Capella and Dedmon, and they still have a lot of cap space still left after all these trades. But it do show that they're committed to trade. They did keep up to their promise, giving him help, and they did fill a lot of holes on this team, getting the backup point guard and the two centers that have two complete styles, and you're healthy, and your young players are healthy, and now we get to see how this team will be at the end of this season. Can they mesh? Can they really get the best out of each other? Can they play off each other well and really see if these guys take their game to another level outside of Trae Young next year? Because their record is so bad this year that I don't see them making the playoffs. And Clint Capella injured right now, so that's another thing. He ain't gonna really be healthy, and he had a knee injury, so that's even worse. So we're not gonna really see the full effect of Capella probably until next year anyway, but he is still young, like I said in my other video, being only 26 years old and still showing a lot of upside when it comes to finishing and having a lot of maneuvers, but also becoming a better rebounder and being a team defender. But like I said too, the NBA is getting bigger, so it does help getting a guy like Capella, and it does help having a guy like Dedmon for when you need to stretch out the floor, or when you need to have a guy that can do both, anchor and stretch out the floor. They have the versatility with these two guys, and if they want to go small, they still have John Collins, who can get a bucket on almost anybody and rebound the ball and be a good free throw shooter, which can help you in fourth quarters and close games. He's a versatile guy, and I really want to see how this team functions. But let me know what you guys think. Was this a good trade for the Kings, Jabari Parker, Alex Len, or you think it was a steal for the Atlanta Hawks, getting 2 second-round picks and a quality NBA big for basically nothing? Because Jabari and Alex Len is not, franchise culture changing players. They're just solid vets at this point of their career, even though they're still young. And that's what they get. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks for liking in advance. Thanks for watching the video, even if you're new. Thanks for continuing to support the brand and the channel. Like the video, comment. I read every comment, and also like on Facebook. My Facebook page will be in the description and in the comment section below. But not only that, at the end of the day, thanks for the support, whether you liked or not, just for watching. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And let me know you think a trade. Do you think this trade can impact? Or do you think this trade really won't matter? Whatever you feel, I read every comment. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks.